Alright, I wasn't really going to do the full video, but April, this is for you. Maybe someone else will be interested in it too. So I'm going to tack this on the very front of it, then I'll add the compilation of videos to where I worked on it, and then I'll put another picture, small video in the end. Okay, I will probably do these exact same two clips at the beginning and the end, since this is going to be a long one. And I have another project that will be coming up. I don't know if I will videotape it. Boy, it's a nice, beautiful day today. Anyone can do these things, although I will say some projects can take a long time, like this, but it's so worthwhile. Good luck. God bless. I love you. Jesus loves you. Alright, I've got another project. This friend of mine, I got this from her. It's got some issues, and this is only 16 inches tall. Hold on, it's a very small. It's one of the shortest side tables I've ever seen. It's 16 inches tall and 33 inches long at the biggest part, and I do like it that it is a double drop leaf. I should have put this on the stand, but the only place that I could put it on the stand, I didn't have really good lighting out here on the porch. So it is a double drop leaf, which that's cool. However, down below here, it's broken. It's missing a sidebar, and it is dog chewed. Well, I can't turn it around. So I'm considering making it a taller table and use something like that stool right there. And that means I'll take this off, or maybe I can just even remove these legs and somehow, I don't know, we'll see. But it's in pretty rough shape, but it has great potential. Alright, well, I got the top off that stool. Now I'm kind of committed. Maybe I should be committed. Alright, now, if I take this edging off, then these right here will have to be reworked. And I'm not that good with stuff, and I'm attempting to do this entirely by myself rather than get my brother in on it. So I need to see, I'm trying to remember if I have a jigsaw or something to whack these off all the way around, and then to whack those off, and then I will turn that up and put it down here. If I do it to where these go in between here, and then these are the table legs, I think it'll work. But I'm very creative. My mind is very creative, but I can't always do the work. If I had a real shop, and my brother has a shop, but I'm very funny about using other people's stuff. And actually, so is he. Almost all of us are. I don't usually mind if somebody uses my stuff, but if I break something, I buy it. So I may as well try to do this on my own. We shall see. I think it's cool, though. I don't know how old it is. It's not antique, but it's definitely vintage. Alright, it turns out I'm very, very bad at this. And it also turns out that I'd never even taken this out of the package. before, so that means I've never used it before, and it's probably been 25 years since I've used a jigsaw. I got one of them off, but of course I didn't do it straight. I scared the chihuahua. Alright, I'll finish getting those off. There's no sense in all the noise and the ridiculousness here, but I'll get those off. As bad as I'm doing here, I probably will have to get my brother to use one of his machines to whack those legs off. Alright, got them done. My first one, I think, was this one over here, and it's really the worst. And then the last one is this one right here. I don't know why I jumped around so much, but that was the first one, this was the second one, and it left too much. This was the third, and this was the fourth. So I did get a little bit better as I went, and I scared the little girl to death. She had to run inside. I'm sorry, girl. Alright, my brother cut off the legs of the table, and I'm glad I let him do it because I had a hard enough time cutting little things off of here. But rather than do everything play by play, because most people aren't going to flip furniture anyway, this is why I wanted it left like it was, because these are the things that hold up the part that closes. So I've bought some corner braces. This is 1.5 inches, and now I'm going to mark them. I've measured it all the way around and got it as uniform as I can, and then I'm going to take a pin and mark the spots where I'm going to drill the holes, and then I will attach. Man, it's hard to film by myself and it's raining here. So I'm going to attach the bar stool bottom to this table. I'm going to start doing that. Thank you, Lord, for the rain. Alright, okay, I attached the bar stool bottom. I attached it down below. Let me see if I can even get it. And I'll be honest with you, hopefully you can see this right there. I use L brackets, metal L brackets. I measured it, you know, kind of centered it, marked it, measured it, and screwed it in as best I could. But for some of y'all, you know, of a certain age, you're going to understand what I'm talking about. It got to a point, because these are angled. Let me see if I even am filming this. It got to a point that I just didn't have the strength in my hand to finish screwing them down. I got them almost in, and I don't know if you can even see the kind of angle I'm talking about. It's smaller down at the bottom than at the top. It's wider, or at the bottom. Just the opposite of what I said. So I had to take it down to my brother. And I said, well, did you have to take it apart and redo what little bit I did? And he said, no, but I did have to take the torque screwdriver, whatever. He said, because it did need more power to get it in. Get the screws in correctly. Now what I'm going to do, he began to sand it and then thought, wait a minute, I'm not going to sand it. She only asked me to tighten those screws. But he did tell me that whenever he was trying to sand it, it was like some of y'all, if you've never done any furniture redoing or flipping or makeovers or restoring, you may not know this, but certain stains and even certain clear coats and things like this, varnish, clear coats, polyurethanes and all that they put on them years ago, soak so much into the wood that you almost can't sand it out. Sorry about that. So what I want to do, I'm going to try a little bit with this stripper here, and I'm just going to put it on. And of course I didn't bring a regular paintbrush. Sorry about this. Here's my wonderful porch and slash workroom. Well, I thought I had a really cheap paintbrush out here. So what I'm going to do, actually here it is, a really cheap paintbrush. So I'm going to put this on, and then I'm just going to do this. We're going to see if this is going to take that varnish and stain off. I'm only going to do part of it, and I'm not going to do it all on film because there's, y'all already know my films are long enough as it is. So let me just do that. Ooh, I like how dark that's looking. I'm not seeing it bubble up like normal, and I'm deliberately only going to do part of this so that we can see together, is this going to work, or am I going to have to do my testy or my handy dandy sander, which is just a cheap, inexpensive, hyper tough, I think it is, sander. I have an orbital sander. Well, they offer, I think, 3 inexpensive models, and I got one of each of them. Wow, the carpenter bees are really insane this year. Okay, it's only bubbling up a little bit. I seldom ever use paint and stain remover for actual stain and varnish. But let's see what happens here. I'm not seeing it bringing it off like I was hoping it would. And the other thing about why I only did part of this is if this doesn't really bring it up like it's supposed to. Alright, now that one I went deeper in, but if you're not careful with one of these metal scrapers, you can do just too much. I'm not thinking that's getting in deep enough. Maybe I needed a different scraper. But I'm not going to risk damaging this wood, to be honest with you. So, since I want to go down further with getting rid of the stain and the varnish, I'm going back to the old-fashioned way, and I'm going to sand it. But sometimes you just don't know till you try and experiment. Alright, this is going to be a whole lot more tedious than I thought. I did go ahead and hook up my vacuum to it to help, but I'm tripping on the thing, I'm sorry. This is what we got when we come down to the bottom of this. However, I'm not sure that I'm really getting all of the stain, that some of these may be natural marks, and I don't know if y'all can tell. This is one of those stain slash varnish combinations that really gunks up, and it really seems to soak into the wood. I'm liking what I see so far. However, the true test is going to be, if I know that this is not going to pull back through, that some of that is not sitting here in these little places, I would simply clear coat this with polyurethane, and I would leave it natural because I'm kind of liking that. And then I would offset the bottom with either a white or a black or another color. So just showing you. This took me 20 minutes to do this with this sander. Maybe there's a better sander. I don't know. But I'm almost 70 and I just started doing this 2 or 3 years ago that I started flipping furniture to this level. So I'm proud with doing it this way anyway. But isn't that pretty? It's just patience. It's just keep on doing. If you do have the availability to go ahead and hook up to a vacuum cleaner, and then what I do is I use one of these on-off just to make it easier for me. But let's see what happens. Alright, I made an executive decision. I've been sitting here sanding and sanding, and I used that one. I used every different one I had. This lip here that a lot of tables have, I really like that, but it's nearly impossible to get all that stain out. So what I did, I went ahead and I'm going to smooth it all around here so that there's not that little groove. I do like that groove, but for the purposes of staining this, and not just for myself but for the next person, I am taking that little groove out of here, and it will be smooth like this, and it'll be so much easier later. Okay, here this is. I'm finished sanding it. I think it's beautiful. I'm telling you, this was a hard, rough sanding and even using paint and varnish remover episode. And then I took the little edges down here. So now what I am going to do is, I'm not going to do this point yet. I'm going to flip this over and put it on a table over here and wash and begin to paint the bottom. Alright, now I have washed it off and with just soap and water. Dish soap and water. You can use Crud Cutter. Some people use like Simple Green. And then I wiped it off with just plain water. And what I'm going to do is, this is chalk paint that I put it in just one of my plastic containers, some of my good Tupperware. This is what I'm using. Let's see, I don't know if you can see. It is Hello Hobby chalk aquacolor chalk paint, and I just poured it in here to make it a little bit easier, because I'm going to use just a regular brush rather than a chalk brush. But now we'll say, some people don't realize this, but you can either make your own chalk paint. This is, whenever I had my store, I used to sell Howard products, and this is called a powder additive for paint. This will make basically any paint a chalk paint, even semi-gloss, although semi-gloss doesn't do quite as good with trying to make it a chalk paint. But another thing that people don't realize, or I have found, this is me, I try to get by as inexpensively as possible, because money for me is always an issue. If you don't have chalk paint, quite often I use flat paint, just flat paint. Can I swear that flat paint is going to be as good as chalk paint? No, I cannot. I can say it has done very well for me, and we'll leave it at that. And this chalk paint here, I bought several different ones. This was just 8 ounces. and it was like $1.67. It was on sale last year, and I bought a few of them. So, and I'm not showing everybody the entire paint process, because painting is painting. And I'm just going to paint the legs. And the other thing that I'm going to do, I'm not going to paint the bottom here, but I am going to paint. In fact, part of what made me decide to paint this entire project was this little edging around here. There's no way I can sand that adequately enough after it took me 2 hours to do the other. This is too much. So I'm going to paint the entire section, including this. I'm not going to paint that, and I'm not going to paint this. So I will get back with you. Just wanted to share that. Now let's get to painting. Alright, now I'm going to take a moment to show you. I've already put these others on here. These are the little glider feet. I don't know what they're called. Little furniture feet. I've already put 3 of them on. You can measure or you can eyeball it. This helps protect, especially like your hardwood floors. Plus it'll make it easier to slide on the carpet or whatever. Just put them on. That's the protectors for the floor. Alright. Here again, I think I bought those from Amazon. I think they're leg protectors or furniture leg floor protectors. I don't know what they're called. I make stuff up. So there's that. And now I'm getting ready to wax. I've done the chalk paint. This is the wax that I'm using. It's called the Chalk-Teak Light Paste Wax by Howard. I used to sell this product in my store years ago, and I've come to really like and trust how good this product is compared to the price, and it's very affordable. But now there's other kinds. I'm thinking about trying the Annie Sloan, but here's some Waverly wax. It's just the furniture wax. This is water-based, which I like that. Now, to put it on, you can use anything from a chalk and wax brush to a piece of a t-shirt, or like these fiber bags. They're the paint and cleaning rags made with natural fiber, and you're supposed to be able to rinse them out for reuse. So, and I will start out, and I'm not going to show this whole process. You just, if you use the little paintbrush, put you some in there, just swirl it around. Now you're wanting to cover everything that you painted chalk paint. You can do circular motions. You don't necessarily do that. Do circle motions. Just get it on there. Or even like that. Just follow Annie Sloan or some of these other people. I am such a novice at this. You mainly just want to get it on. Okay, and then just show you this. If you use the rag method, just do that. And just wipe it. Wipe it on. It goes on smoothly and easily. Hoping you can see it. And here again, since this is so simple, this isn't rocket science, I'm going to finish doing this off camera because we're almost through. We are almost through, Yuns. Alright, I'm not going to take but a minute on this, and I'm not going to show the entire thing either. I've prepped the surface of this, including wiping it off. These marks, I was afraid, I don't know if you can see them, that was some of the stain coming back through, but I have sanded it, I've washed it, I've done everything that I know to do. This may be part of the actual wood, the wood grain. You see the different marks, natural marks in here. What I'm going to use is polyacrylic, which is a latex. This is clear gloss. And I'm simply going to go with the grain. I don't know if you can tell, the grain is this way. And simply, oh, I didn't even get enough on there. And just go this way along with the grain. And it probably is still going to make it darker than what I was hoping or thinking. But I'm not staining it or anything. I'm just doing this clear coat. So, nothing magical here. I'm just going to take my time and do this, and I'll get back with you. Well, I had took a poll on my Facebook account and asking my friends, should I keep it natural or should I stain it? And all of them that answered back said to keep it natural. Well, this is clear. I haven't stained it or anything. I'm hoping that once this starts drying that it will go back to being light. But see how dark it is? I just want to do evidence of that. So sometimes even if you don't stain and you do the best you can do, it does darken it even if it's supposed to be completely clear. So don't let that bother you. We'll see how much it lightens up once I'm done with it and it dries on the first coat. Alright, I wasn't really going to do the full video, but April, this is for you. Maybe someone else will be interested in it too. So I'm going to tack this on the very front of it. Then I'll add the compilation of videos to where I worked on it. And then I'll put another picture, small video in the end. Okay, I will probably do these exact same 2 clips at the beginning and the end, since this is going to be a long one. And I have another project that will be coming up. I don't know if I will videotape it. Boy, it's a nice, beautiful day today. It takes, anyone can do these things, although I will say some projects can take a long time, like this, but it's so worthwhile. Good luck. God bless. I love you. Jesus loves you.